Welcome back. Today, as you can tell, I'm wearing green. Today we're going to talk about a situation where before we weren't able to open carry any firearms or so forth. I think that the open carry was struck down in 1987, and it has been ruled in the court as unconstitutional, and they granted Florida the permit to open carry. But they have a lot of stipulation when it comes to open carry rules and so forth, and holsters, and how you carry the gun, and carrying the gun in a safe way, and so forth. So we're going to get into some of the details and the logistics and the rules that have to abide by. And just remember, situational awareness. You always, in an open carry situation, you have to keep your head on a swivel and just be mindful of your surrounding at all times, because the bad guy will always try to disarm you, take your gun from you. But I'm going to run you through a few scenarios here and in the car as far as the open carry is concerned. I know we've talked about this before, where the permitless carry, and you've seen my previous video on Florida not being an open carry state. Well, law has changed. It has dramatically changed, and it constantly changed rapidly over time. As you can tell, we got the green light. I'm wearing my green shirt, so thumbs up. So let's get into it. Open carry situation. It might suit some people. It might not suit some people. Some people might be scared to do it, depending on the consequences and not knowing what they're doing as far as the open carry situation may concern. But there is always information out there that you can get, or there's resource that you can, or research that you can do to find out what the necessary steps are, because you still cannot carry a gun openly, even if it's a courthouse, federal building, school, and so forth. So you still have to abide by certain rules that your permit allows you to do. So with this case, we talked about going hunting, camping, or fishing, or to and from the range. It's no longer the situation as of September 25th, and that's the date that everything goes into effect. Let me just read some of the things here that requires, and what happened, and how it came about, and so forth, blah blah blah. Anyway, Florida has not moved away from open carry laws. It has just been an open carry firearm rule that is ruled in the court as unconstitutional. Okay, on September 10th, the court rules that it's unconstitutional for not to be able to carry your gun openly and freely. All right, I think there's just like 4 different states that does not allow open carry, which is Illinois, New York, and I think it's I'm not quite sure of the other 2, but I'll talk to you as I go along. So let me read some of the logistics here. What happened? It means that the court rules that Florida appeal court struck down the state decide old open carry ban. The ruling conclude that the ban violated the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Okay, so the rule is no longer enforced by any government agency. The following ruling, local law enforcement agency immediately began to stop enforcing the open carry ban. That simply means no matter where you live in Florida, you can openly carry a gun. But remember, do it safely. Alright? Situation awareness, always check your shoulders, always look around, always make sure you know where you're going with that try not to display a gun in a crowded area. You can carry openly on your person every day, whatever, but an open setting like a huge crowd, like a concert or so forth or whatever, it's not a good idea, right? And make sure you carry that gun in a holster. Do not put that gun in your pocket and say, oh, I'm carrying openly, I'm allowed to do it. That is dangerous. That's when people have negligent discharge or you handling a firearm unsafely, all right? So, the legal proceeding. While the open carry ban is no longer in effect as of September 25th, there are still restrictions on where you cannot carry a firearm, including courthouse, polling station, polling places, school or college or facilities. So, your concealed permit, when you took that class and they told you where and when and how you can carry your gun, those laws still apply. For the hunting, camping, or fishing, that's no longer that was a situation where there's stipulation that if you're going camping, fishing, or hunting, you can openly carry a firearm, a handgun, or a long gun, or whatever. But now you can just openly, you don't have to go camping, you don't have to go fishing. It could be everyday life, it could be everyday, just going about, running to Walmart, so forth. Take it into consideration though, people are going to panic because they don't know the law and people are afraid of what they don't know. With that being said, I think what's going to happen is most places, most business are going to start displaying their signs that no guns are allowed, right? Which privilege to openly carry a firearm. Okay, some establishment will approach you and say, "Hey, we don't feel comfortable. Do you mind leaving?" At that point, they actually leave. You should leave. If not, then it's considered trespassing, or they might call the police, and then it might go into a he say, hearsay shit, or people are afraid, or people get into their feelings, or people don't understand the concept behind guns and how guns are being used or carried. So people are really afraid of what they don't know. And this may be a new situation, a new thing to them. So just be mindful of what and how you do it, or how you openly carry a gun. As of the 25th, I think that is the date, as I said before, that you are allowed. They voted on this on the 10th of September. All right? So law enforcement is no longer going to enforce the law and everything. So, the ban has been lifted. And it looks like they've been working on this for a while. So now we're going to get into how you can openly carry that gun in a safe manner or a safe way. With that being said, I have a Glock here. Let me make sure it's empty, clear. There's nothing in it. Glock, threaded barrel, right? Nothing. So this is a holster, a Kydex holster, and this is considered a level 1 holster where it just fits in there. You hear the audible click. The gun is not falling out. That's level 1 retention. Now, when it comes to carrying openly, this setup here, this level 1 setup here, it's for concealed carry purpose, because there's no trigger lock or there's no trigger guard that locks it in. There's no two-step process, it's just one, which is the audible click. It secures the gun in a concealed carry configuration. Now, when we're talking about open carry, you don't want to carry this concealed holster in an open setting, like openly displaying it. What you need is a level 2 holster. So this is a battle belt. This is a level 2. You hear the audible click, right? Here, audible click right there. And now you have what you call a trigger lock. So it locks the trigger guard. So even it not falling out, even if someone comes behind you and pull it, it's not coming out. You literally have to press that little button right there for it to release. Now, law enforcement or any agency and the retention of the holster itself. So that's 3 different steps. So that considered a level 3. We're in a level 3. It's much safer for a police officer or any law enforcement that openly carry a gun every single day. All right, so just remember that. Level 2, if you're going to open carry. Level 1, if you're going to conceal. All right? So no one can come behind you, grab the gun, and take it out. I'm pulling as hard as I can, and it's not budging, it's not moving. I literally have to press that little right here that covers the trigger guard to release the gun. It locks in. All right? So now, as far as a rifle is concerned, you can openly carry this wherever you are, wherever you're going, in your car, whatever. You don't have to hide it anymore. You don't have to conceal it anymore or whatever. It doesn't have to be in a bag. But in that sense, you want to have this is a pistol, right? 8.5 inch. You want to have a sling on your rifle. You want to have a sling on your rifle if you're going to open carry it, because it would be not really a good idea to just walk around with a rifle in your, just holding a rifle in your hand. All right, so the sling right there. So this sling is a 2 point to a 1 point, but I guess this one won't go there for the 2 points, so I'm just going to swing it right here so I can show you. All right, so this is a 2 point to a 1 point. And it's adjustable. Let me adjust it first before I put it off. You said level 2 to level 1. Level 2 to level 1, okay? Alright, so the states that are prohibited from open carry is California, Illinois, New York, and the District of Columbia. Alright? And there is 46 different other states that you can open carry a firearm. 46 different states. Now, here is where your permit, your concealed permit, gives you reciprocity. If you are a Florida resident, it's best you get your concealed permit, because if you go to other states, then you can carry that gun openly. If you do not have a concealed permit from Florida and you go to another state, you cannot openly carry in that state, because they do not grant you reciprocity without that concealed permit. So the permitless carry kind of don't make sense whatsoever, but it's for those who don't want to go get the permit, and you're only restricted in your own state to permitless carry. So there's different scenarios, there's different guidelines, there's different rules when it comes to reciprocity and carrying a gun in a different state like Texas, Kentucky, Wyoming, Philadelphia, those kind of states. Florida, once you are a Florida resident and you have your concealed permit, those states grant you reciprocity, which is 46 different states that you can open carry a gun. Alright? Just remember that now. Permitless carry does not give you the right to carry openly in a different state if you do not have a permit. There's different laws, there's different bylaws, there's different guidelines to those things. With that being said, thank you for watching. Leave me a like, comment, subscribe, share, notification, turn the notification bell on, and you will get the new videos when I drop, or updated videos. This is a updated video because it's breaking news that Florida has been granted by the courts open carry, everyone to open carry their gun, or anyone can open carry in the state of Florida. You don't have to go fishing, hunting, camping, or to and from the range anymore. We have been granted the open carry law in Florida as of September 25th. That is the date. Until things has changed, I'll keep you up to date, because take it in consideration now. Things do change often. The rules and laws change when it comes to guns. There's no set in stone when it comes to guns. Every politician or a Democrat, Republican, everyone that do not like the Second Amendment will fight against it, but to each his own. The right to freedom, the right to carry a firearm shall not be infringed. It's in the Constitution, which is the Second Amendment. Just like our freedom of speech, they give you the freedom to say whatever you want. We should have the same freedom to carry a gun openly if we see fit or choose to. All right? So just let me know what you think. I'll give you the scenarios in the car of how, if and when you get pulled over in this situation now, because remember, we talked about this before, previously, maybe like 10 months ago, that reciprocity rule do not give you the right to open carry in a car. Now everything has changed, and this is where we are now. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for car scenarios, demonstration. Car. You don't have to hide it anymore when you get pulled over. You don't have to hide it anymore when you get pulled over. So just making sure you don't be reaching for anything. I know they always say get your driver's license and insurance, and most of the time those things are in the glove box. So just try your best not to reach. If you have a rifle there, it would be best let that officer come up to the car and instruct you what to do, or let him get the firearm first and so forth. So you can, if you get pulled over, right here, your gun could be right here, openly. Don't have to be in a bag or anything. It could be just like that, because it's an open carry situation. Or your gun could be here, right here, on a magnet. I have a magnet in mine. When I drive, that's where it is for easy accessible, or for me to get to it as quick as I can if something should ever happen, or if I should ever need that firearm to save my life or to protect my loved ones, whatever. I don't want to be reaching and digging for it, or feeling under the seat, or going to my glove box and everything. So it's right here on a magnet. The magnet itself covers the trigger guard, so nothing can get to the trigger for it to have a negligent discharge. And as I said, magnet, it's mounted pointing downwards, not to my foot, downwards at a 45-degree angle in the car itself. So when I'm driving, there's no obstruction with my foot or whatever the case may be. As I said, if you do get pulled over, please just throw your hands out the window if you openly carrying a firearm or a rifle inside your car, which, as I said, you don't have to put it in a bag anymore, but you still have to abide by certain guidelines when you handling a firearm, or you have a firearm in your possession, or you get pulled over by law enforcement, because even though they're not going to enforce the rules, now it's an intense situation where they might want to put their hand on their gun, not knowing if you are a law-abiding citizen or you're a criminal or whatever the case may be. You know, no one is guilty until proven in the court of law. So just remember that. So if you have your rights, please don't give it away. Don't give your life away by reaching for anything of that sort. So just be mindful of the situation and be safe while doing it, because they give us the right and the privilege to do it, but do it in a safe manner. Please, I'm begging you, do it in a safe manner. Safety is the #1 rule when it comes to firearm. Treat it like if it's loaded. Don't put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to shoot, but keep it in a safe place, keep it safe away from kids, and so forth. Until then, stay tuned. BP Armory.